Hi, Azka. So let's take a look at this new set of essays you've sent us. Here's what you wrote. Okay. Employees staying in the same jobs. Here's what you wrote. There is no doubt that gainful employment is vital for most people. However, some people think that workers should stick to one job for their entire lives, and others think they should look for other alternatives at least once during their career. This essay will discuss why I agree with those who favor changing jobs at least one time during their career. Clear, nice, perfect. Looking first at the advantages associated with having one job forever, an important one is the opportunity for employees to carve a niche at their workplace. This is because they have enough time to establish themselves and make connections in their job circle. Can you give me an example? Can you support that in a little bit? That would be a very wise idea. In comparison, frequent job change would lead to a shorter time span at a job and thus lack of is the wrong word here. So a frequent job change would lead to a shorter time at a job and thus a lack of opportunity to show skills and expertise. Another important advantage of long-term employment at a facility is job stability. For example, a man who holds a job at a particular place for 40 years usually has more experience, respect, and standing than a man who changes his job every few years. Okay, well, what you said here, experience, respect, and standing, are not equivalent to job stability. What does job stability mean? It means basically not having this fear of losing your job, of knowing that your job is safe and that you will not be forced out of it anytime relatively soon. The example that you have provided does not actually support this particular idea. So while grammatically and lexically everything is very nice, in terms of topic development, these two ideas do not go together. Okay, just because you have more experience, respect, and standing, it doesn't equate job stability. Does that make sense? I really truly hope it does. If it doesn't, then let us know in your response email. All right, moving on. Turning to the benefits of switching jobs at least once, an obvious one. All right, okay. Is exposure to a greater variety of work opportunities. This would result in development of different skill sets. Okay, what do you mean? Provide some support here. Supposedly, this is the idea that you are in favor of. So, show us why you support this idea. Another significant advantage is getting a chance to travel to different places and experience other cultures and work ethics. Okay, how does that relate to changing jobs? I know tons of people who change jobs multiple times and yet have never left their region, let alone go to different places and experience other cultures. So if you want to state this, and you absolutely have to support this. All right, let's look at the conclusion and then we'll talk about the task development. In conclusion, although being employed at the same place forever leads to job stability and more respect, I believe the varied experiences and skill sets that come with changing jobs are, not is, are, because you talked about two things, experience and skill sets, are more enticing. Your conclusion is fine, but let me tell you what the biggest problem with your essay is. You decided to look at both sides, okay? You decided to look at the advantages, okay, which is your concession paragraph. I think it's a great idea to have one. I totally agree. But supposedly, this is the side that you don't agree with, and this is the side that you do agree with. Look only at the length of these paragraphs. The side that you supposedly don't support is twice as long as the side that you do support. Okay, so this is illogical. It makes a lot more sense for you to spend more time and have more arguments in favor of the side that you are in favor of than the side that you don't really support. So I don't understand the way you developed this. You had two reasons here, supposedly, supporting your viewpoint, but you never actually supported them. You didn't give any explanation. You didn't give any sort of illustration, any sort of tangible examples, and that's what's missing. Now, the general idea, if you're aiming for a band 7 and above, is that you need these paragraphs in length and in content to be relatively equal. That's absolutely not happening here. So just by virtue of the length, you're really bringing your task achievement score down to a 6, okay? Whether you realize it or not. So that's something I want you to think about as you progress in the essay pack, and let's absolutely take every effort to correct this, okay? Let's move on to your task 2. All right, let's go to this task 1 now, Azka, okay? Crop production. Now, this is one of those challenging pie charts because there's very little information. You only have 6 pieces of information, so let's see how you manage to extend this to an answer that is at least 150 words. Here's what you wrote. The given pie chart shows the percentage of different crops grown in France in the year 2017. According to the chart, the crop that was the most abundant was cotton, amounting to 34.4. Next in line was sugar at 21.9%, closely followed by wheat at 20.4. Another big portion of the produce, I don't like that word produce because cotton is not considered produce. So another big portion of the crops produced, or of the yield, you could have said, was formed by barley, which was 18% of the total. Rice and corn were the smallest in number. Careful, don't talk about number. Nothing here has to do with numbers. It's all percent, proportion, figures, but definitely not number. So again, rice and corn were the smallest in percentage. No, amounting to only 3.5% and 1.5% of all crops, respectively. Fine. I don't know why you have therefore. Get rid of it. I would get rid of it completely. While cotton, sugar, wheat, and barley comprise the main crops produced in France 2017, rice and corn form the minor crops. Okay, amounting to 5%. A little repetitive. I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to provide some sort of a synopsis, some sort of a conclusion here. I don't think it's particularly effective. I think there were other things you could have done. So let's finish the answer and then we'll see what you could have written instead of this. In conclusion, it can be argued from the above data that cotton, sugar, wheat, and barley are the main crops grown in France, and thus this country is most likely self-reliant in its production. No, absolutely not. We'll talk about it in a minute. However, rice and corn are not grown as frequently. Frequently is the wrong word. We're not talking about frequency. We're talking about proportion. Frequency and proportion are two totally separate things. Now, why am I so firm with this particular sentence here? Because you cannot gauge something that is not actually written in the pie chart. We're not talking about whether France is self-reliant. You are not being asked to talk about something that is not included in this diagram. You're only asked to analyze the things that are shown in the actual image. Nothing outside of it. You're not being asked to make some sort of a conclusion based on the information that extends the realm of the actual information on the chart. So never, never, never make assumptions. I want to talk about a couple of the things that I wanted to change. This was one thing that I wanted to change, and absolutely this sentence here. So let's talk about what you could have written instead to, one, get to that 150 word minimum, and also have relevant information. All right, so remember what the prompt asks you. It says make comparisons where relevant. So why don't we do that? Look at rice, which is the second to least produced product, 3.5, and look at cotton. What does that lead you to understand? This is a 10-fold difference. Okay, so that is one thing you could have picked up on, that the most produced product in France and the second to least produced product had a 10-fold difference. So this was 10 times the production of this. Now, take it a step further, look at corn. Corn production is half of rice. All right, so what does that tell us? That's one thing you could have connected together. Okay, that the least produced product was corn at 1.7%, yet double this was rice at 3.5%. Even this percentage was 1/10 the figure of that of cotton. Okay, so these are some connections that you can make. All right, if you really want to take it a step further, you could say that corn, which is the least produced crop in France, was 1/20th or 20 times less that of the most produced crop in France, which was corn at 34. I'm sorry, did I say corn? I meant cotton. Cotton at 34.4%. So these are the kinds of connections you need to make here, and these are the kinds of things that will help you extend your answer, but not actually including things that are not on the chart, okay? So Azka, I hope this helps. I hope this is information that helps you understand what kinds of connections you need to make, what kinds of ways you have to look at this data. So let's see another set of essays from you. I'm looking forward to them, okay? Good luck.